I just can't seem to get this doggone refrigerator clean. For it just to be me, I got a lot of fingerprints on there. Way too many. For it to just be me. How's it going? Welcome aboard, everybody. I originally titled this Dinner and Chat, but it'd be more fitting if I had titled it Dinner and Conversation. And if you've watched any of my lives, you know I'll be all over the place sometimes. The way I see it, I'll be the bridge to whatever's going on out there in the world. You know, I'm not following the masses. I'll never say never, but the nature of my channel is not to do skits. You know, I may do one, I don't know. But we got enough of that going on. And I watch skits, so I happen to enjoy them. But it's not my thing. And it's I ended up staying up late last night watching this particular guy on YouTube and his uncle because they reached 500,000 subscribers. It was funny. It was real funny. I happen to like them. They go by Choo Choo and Quan. Y'all look them up if you haven't already. I thought it was pretty funny. I've watched these guys for about 3 years now, but they've been at it longer than that. So if y'all haven't tuned in to Choo Choo and Quan, just like that, I believe he spells it Q-W-A-N. Choo Choo, Choo Choo, C-H-O-C-H-O. To me, they're funny. I like the skits that they do. You know, like I mentioned in some of my other posts, let me see what y'all got going on. Do you need a job? A landscaping company? You're a great worker. No, sir. Madam, I'm sorry, I do not need a job. If you're directing that to me, I am gainfully employed. I've been on my job several years. I have weekends off and I have a lot of vacation time. And I happen to do some side work too with the same type of work that I'm involved in. Landscaping. The only landscaping that I do is I've done for myself and maybe helped out a family member. And as far as landscaping, I am pretty good at it. I can bring a dead yard back to life. And we could talk about that if you want to. But for the same guy that just asked if I need a job or if anybody needs a job in landscaping, I want you to explain real briefly in the chat for everybody to see what compost tea is. That's compost tea. Go ahead and explain it. Yeah, sure, you can cheat and look it up. But it appears that you're looking for somebody to work for you. I figured you would have simple knowledge on something called compost tea. And no, people, it's not what you drink. I'm just gonna say it's covered by it. Every landscaper knows about. But you didn't explain it. See, you need to pay attention. You are interviewing people. If you are interviewing just me or everybody else that's gonna be in here, I asked you a direct question to explain compost tea. I didn't say what do contractors know about it. So if you want to interview somebody, you're gonna have to be able to pay attention. So, sir, I'm going to have to happily decline your job offer because I posed one question to you, and that was an immediate fail. Now, if you've been watching my lives, I may or may not respond to some of these comments because y'all, be honest with y'all, when I take these glasses off, I don't really see my screen that well. And then when I put them on, there will be so much dead air right here with me reading each and every comment to give everybody their minute of fame. I can't really do that. You can post your comments here, or you can reach out and send me a direct message or direct chat, however this thing works, whatever works for you. But I won't sit here and actively read these comments. I'm reading them, but I don't think I can sit here and respond to each one of them because I can turn a 30-minute conversation of me running my mouth. It'll end up being a total of 6 minutes, but it'll be stretched out over 30 minutes of dead air. So let's not do that. Y'all know how this thing works. So for those of you that don't know, since Mr. Contractor asked about anybody need a job, I assume he was talking about me or y'all, I don't know. So basically, if you have yards or little area garden or whatever, and be careful what you put in this because you don't want to put it in anything that's going to be edible, like vegetables or fruit. I mean, you can, depends on what you put in it. But a compost tea, you can do a DIY or you can look it up on YouTube. It's basically this. It's basically this. Anything that breaks down. When you're buying apples, you eating your apples, you put your apple core in there, you put your banana peel in there, you build out your little barrel, you can go get a pickle barrel. Now, when I did mine, I put a door on it and see, well, it was pretty much sealed, but there was a door on it. So as I turn it, I did it the jack rig way. You can go out here and spend $150, $200 for a compost tea barrel, or you can get a pickle barrel almost anywhere for $5. And you take your little, you make sure you get the right screws. You drill the screws to the out. You just need like a few screws to the outside. So as you spin it, now what I did, I made it real cheap. I put it between two elevated sets of bricks. I already had some bricks, okay, or cinder blocks, if you will. And I ran a piece of PVC through it that I already had. And I went about the pickle barrel. So I put my little screws through there, made sure they was gonna be okay, not gonna poison me or nothing like that, of course. But I wasn't eating the stuff I was growing. I was saving the grass. So whatever we had, like I say, the apple core, the banana peel, paper towels, the tissue roll, anything that you think that will break down over time. Even the stem from the grape seeds, you know, if you, especially the seedless, but be careful what you put in there because it's gonna take a while. And if you was making compost tea, you would have probably already been making it back in maybe early March when the weather's breaking. Depends on what area that you're in. And every now and then you just go out there and turn it. Some people just put a little distilled water in there. You don't need much because as it breaks down, it's gonna start to sweat. So this barrel is sitting on this rod. Every now and then you just go out there and turn it. And I had a little nipple right there. So I would get my empty milk jug, open the nipple up, and fill it up with the compost tea. Now, prior to doing that, I knew where I can get a food safe or food grade, what they call those things? Those shipping carts that sometimes they come with oil in them, like cooking oil. They can be, I wouldn't get anything that's degreased, but most time they come with cooking oil, peanut oil, all these things. You just put in food grade container, you can find those. Now this is for somebody that has quite a bit of land. So about that, because I wasn't finna pay nobody all these hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this yard. So I hooked it to my downspout. Now I had a 330 gallon food grade container. If you can find a black one, it's even better because it keeps the algae down. Or you can put chemicals in it, or you can buy the wrap to put over it, but it has to stay dark to keep the algae down. You're gonna get a little bit, but okay. So you connect it to your downspout. But prior to going into your downspout, you need to put a filter up there, or maybe a piece of wire mesh to keep all of the debris out. Now, as you run that pipe from your downspout all the way down, you bypass the food grade container, and you put like a little clean out at the bottom. And that's where you put a smaller, you may have a 3-inch pipe or 2-inch pipe coming vertical. You put the other piece at the bottom that's smaller, and then you take any little plastic. You can take a large plastic ball, ping pong ball, whatever, as long as you don't get sucked back up in there. So as the rain falls down and it bypasses your barrel, it pushes the bottle up, and all the sediment is at the bottom. So now that's when that ball rises from the pressure, then the water starts going back into your container. Also, when you put a hole in that top of that container, depends on how you want to filter it. You might want to put a strainer there, but you're only doing this for your yard. And the reason why I say straining as much as possible, because how many of y'all ever seen leaves and pine trees growing out of your gutters? And use that. So now you've got your compost tea. Now, the normal thing that you hook to your water hose that you use when you spray out all that chemical stuff out there, the Miracle-Gro and all that stuff that don't work half the time, you pour your compost tea in there. You connect your water hose to your rain barrel. Now, depending on how you elevate it and your pressure, you may or may not have to do something to increase the pressure. So you hook that to it. You got the line coming out of the container where your rain is. Then you may or may not have your compressor in there to increase the power if you need it. You don't need a lot of power. And from there, through your little sprayer. And inside your sprayer, that little jug that you spray connecting out, that's where your compost tea is. You just start spraying that grass. And you can't do it, look, y'all, you can't do it when it's full sunlight. You can't do it when it's 99 degrees. It's best to do it early in the morning or late in the evening. And preferably when there's no chance of rain for a couple of days. Now, you want to do this compost tea application a couple of times a week if you can. Front and back, it ain't gonna hurt nothing, trust me. Now that you starting late on this, Mr. Contractor, you may not really see any great results until late fall, early next year. Now, if you've already prepared your yard for weeds and you put the weed kill, all that stuff down, if you want to. Now, keep in mind, y'all, we're not talking about vegetables that you are growing to eat. This is for your grass. You can mix a little weed kill in there if you want to also. It's just compost tea, but make sure you shake it up when you use it. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all something. When you run this downspout and you run the bypass and you backtrack it into your 330 gallon food grade safe tank, you're gonna need an overflow, because the way my roof was structured, a decent rain would fill up my tote in 15 minutes. 330 gallons of water. Now you ask yourself, well, how are you saving money? I think I may have paid $25 for the tote, $10 for the barrel. PVC is cheap. Okay, you think you ain't saving money, but get out there 3 or 4 times a week and water your own grass from the spigot. You're being charged for water and for sewer. And then when you get that $300-400 water bill for the next 2 or 3 months, then you come back and talk to me. And the yard was in terrible shape, so I brought it back. It was so good. Now my neighbors are stopping and asking me, what did I do? I explained it to him. Guess what? 2 weeks later, he's trying to rig his up to do the same thing. But he failed in a lot of places. He didn't protect his against the algae. I just watched him. Do what he do, because I can't tell you all my secrets. You know, there's some things you can learn. You can pick this up on YouTube. Rainwater catchment and compost tea. No, you don't drink the compost tea, okay? And you can even put tea bags in there. Coffee grinds can go in there. When you make your coffee in the morning, and that filter that you got before you throw it in the trash, it can go in your compost barrel. And you're gonna end up with some of the prettiest grass. Now you still gotta do your weed kill and all that. And a lot of people don't think to do their weed kill during the off season, like late fall. You can still do it once, twice in the winter if you live in a mild climate like the South, because you're still growing weeds, still growing them. And when I tell you that grass is so pretty and green and plush, so I'm gonna cut that short. So there's my interview that I would have given you, Mr. Contractor, had you answer my question about the compost tea, but you didn't know what it was, obviously. And y'all know me, I'll get up and run away from this camera in a minute, so y'all hold on a second. So, nature of the business today is tell y'all about how I was scamming a scammer that was contacting me on one of the dating sites. Allegedly, yeah, it was a scammer. A lot of people ask, why you fool around on the dating sites? I really don't. So this lady hit me up. A red flag is, first of all, they can't change their name. Now these scammers are trying to get creative. They done went and trying to play these young handsome men to these old widowers, old lady. She's supposed to be 71 years old. Instantly provided a number and email address. Red flag 2. And so I'm responding. I'm like, okay, I'm on my break. I'm gonna go along, just get along. And she said, well, can you reach out to me or give me your WhatsApp? I said, well, I will do that as soon as I return from Lagos, Nigeria. Y'all keep in mind, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. And so she said, what are you doing now? I am overseeing a team of 10. We are gold mining. We're gold mining, we know. And our job is scheduled to end Wednesday. And I will be back in town Thursday night for 2 weeks. And then I'm going to China. So I'm just going along with the scam. I'm just beating them at their own punch. So she asked what city I'm in. I told her that I'm based out of Washington, D.C., but I work with a team that's in charge of foreign trade. The Lagos, Nigeria, the foreign trade, blah, blah, blah. It's down third. She said, well, can you send another picture? I said, due to the nature of my business and the fact that I'm using the company computer, I'm not allowed to download some pictures at this point. And I said, but I will be back in town Thursday night. Then we can continue the conversation. Instantly, everything I said, well, then she started going on about, apparently about how she moved to Montgomery, Alabama. But she misspelled Montgomery. And Alabama had 2 M's in it. Alabama, Alabama. Okay. And she was just trying to find a handsome gentleman that's ready to get married and where she won't be out here and starving and on her own all the time. So we going back and forth. This scammer had never had a chance to pitch their scam, because my scam going deep. I'm a scam this scammer. I ain't had nothing else to do. I'm gonna break. You know, catfish scam, what we gonna call it. So they finally gave up, left that alone. So I'm sitting there at lunchtime. I had 3 people to hit like on this particular site. Like I said, a lot of times I do this for sport, y'all. I'm not really that interested. Here's my take on dating sites. And ladies, I want y'all to hear this. I know you can do whatever you want to. You can roll your eyes and snap your neck in the camera. You can do whatever you want to. But if you are seriously thinking about dating and you have an online profile, take all them other people off your profile, because let me tell you what most men are thinking. You on there post it up with 2 or 3 of your homegirls. He's thinking multiple choice, a buffet. Now, it's like, and I'm sure a lot of y'all that has done that, and guy hit you up, he's like, well, okay, he's trying to talk to you. Be like, well, look, who are your friends? He's already not interested in you. Now I'm back to what I said. You can post whatever you want to post. But I'm just saying, you got all these other girlfriends on your site. Me, I'm looking at multiple choice at this point. And I'll be honest and say it to him. Well, the fact that you got all these friends on your site leads me to wonder if I can choose who I want. Of course they get mad, but I'm just pointing out, pointing it out to them so they kind of understand the way a man's mind would work. So, if you're really serious about dating, ladies, and you're on these dating sites, streamline it. Think about etiquette. Look it up, study the etiquette. I didn't say you don't know what etiquette means. But think about it. And if you can't pose and put up a decent picture, then you're gonna attract what you put out there. And to be honest, man, this rap's so good. Never mind what I'm eating today, y'all. But this rap is good. It does involve tuna. But I look at some of these sites and these people, their profile, I didn't know people still smoke that heavily. These women got these cigarettes and they posing like the dude that just got out. You know the prison pictures. They posing like them now. And so I see a lot of that. But anybody hit me up and they got 2 or 3 of their homegirls on there, it's multiple choice for me. I'm dead ass here. You giving me options. That's just the way I feel about it. I know that's not their intent, but number one, you on a dating site. You're looking for a man to date you, but you got your page littered with all this other stuff. I mean, come on now. I see that quite often. Like I say, to each his own. Everybody can do what they want to do, their own free will. But if I was that serious about it, I would streamline it a little bit better to increase my chances. But it depends on what type of man you're looking for. Or if you're even looking. But I see that often. And I thought it was kind of, I don't know, I ain't gonna say weird or dumb, but you're trying to date somebody. So, and do your friends even know that you have them plastered on a dating site? Maybe they don't want to be on there. You probably never even told them. And with today's technology, these phones and stuff can pick up face recognition and pretty much give you a general area where these people are. I'm gonna leave it right there. I ain't trying to tell y'all how to do it. It is what it is. You know, I'm sure y'all heard about the shooting and murder at the Walmart here in the metro Atlanta, Georgia area, Covington area. I'm not gonna put too much behind that, but I'm almost sure a lot of that had to do with some workplace, what they called it, what did that lady say, what she called it? We'll just say some screwing around. Good, when it's tough, and I was saying, done, you don't kill a couple people working at Walmart, affiliated with Walmart. I don't know all the ins and outs of it. Yes, that can happen anywhere. But I don't know. And, you know, I know a lot of y'all when y'all be at work, you kind of stereotype certain people. And I think we all guilty of that to a certain extent. But you think somebody might, man, he a fool. He might be. You might want to stay away from him or her. Dead seriously. But anyway, y'all know I can react to thumbs up and okays. I'm trying to avoid reading the screen while I'm talking. But if your Monday is or was going well at work, thumbs up or thumbs down. And I'm not the type that would say this 10 times per post. A lot of y'all been on YouTube longer than I have. Y'all been watching YouTube longer than I have. I mean, 10 plus years. You know if you like something. You know to subscribe. You know you can drop comments. I mean, we all know that. I'm really not looking to make this a monetized situation. If it happens, great. I was gonna be on here running my mouth in between phone calls and working. Once again, I'm gonna come home today. Man, my mind set on doing a little extra work. Yeah, I just don't even, it's not in me today. I got quite a bit done yesterday, so I'm good. It's just not in me today. So we're not gonna talk about that. We can talk about your jobs. We can talk about the possibility of, how do y'all feel about being on a particular job 10 years or more, and you feel like you haven't reached your full potential? Are you about ready to leave it, or are you gonna ride it out? What are you gonna do? I think in a lot of cases, that's why a lot of people have had full-time jobs and they've always kept a part-time job. But with today's age, it's easy to have a part-time job. Anything work from home. You can almost find any kind of part-time job working from home. So for those of us that not way up here on the pay scale, and you find the right side job that'll work for you, do it. A lot of times you ain't gotta let nobody know, because it never fails. The minute you start letting too many people in your business, the same people that was already asking you for $10 or $15, yeah, I know we all like to help, but they don't even want to help themselves. Let them find out you got a side job. They feel like they can ask you for more money. You don't have to give it to them. Give them the work for it. We were just talking about yard work from Mr. Contractor. He looking for somebody. Point him in his direction. You know, find what works for you to help stay afloat. That's the best way. That's the best way to look at it. And I did want to touch back on this whole dating thing, dating apps. I was watching last night one of those horror stories from one of the dating apps, how these people got led down the rabbit hole and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I need to be careful with that stuff too, because it's always a camera right there. And I can't imagine for the life of me meeting somebody today, and it's based on the internet, and they immediately start asking about the money, or they need their car fixed, or they need their rent. We 5 minutes into a conversation, and why do I even continue to talk to that person? I think a lot of time we feel that if we cut them off, that person gonna think we cheap, but not that serious. No, it's not being cheap, it's being cautious. You don't even know this person. That same lady or that same man that's on the other end of that phone got reeling you in, got you about ready to cash app her or him $100. They got 5 more just like you getting ready to cash out them $100. So if you look at it that way, scamming is a big business. So y'all be careful. You work hard for that money. You work real hard for it. So be careful with that. Last night I was going on about something, and this little heckler, I guess he wanted to have fun at his own expense last night. If those of you that was watching it, and I did invite him or her, to send me a direct message, inbox me, whatever, send me a link, and we can discuss it privately during video chat. And as usual, the coward didn't do it because I wanted him to know the real me. I'm not putting all that dirt out here for one little nincompoop. You know, if y'all are out here and y'all are on YouTube and y'all are doing these things, you know, I would like to have a good exchange, but I'm not gonna have a good exchange going on with somebody that's sending me text messages on here. If I have somebody in here with me and we can have a good exchange, y'all gonna be in for a thrill. Cause we gonna just, whatever we talk about, we're gonna talk about. It's gonna be just like y'all just sitting in the living room with us. So when I do get on here and I wanna go live, I have realized going live, I honestly believe I do much better going live. And this ain't the cream of the crop, but I do better than trying to record these things. And I know I've watched all the YouTube stuff. They say it's good to record something and set it to air 24 hours later. And I even did that. It worked pretty good. But it was mostly about an automobile. I can't talk about automobiles every day. You know, I can't tell you how much gas I put in my vehicles every day. I can't tell you when last time every day I wash my car. I can't, you know, all this stuff. And I do enjoy talking about it. I do enjoy watching people talk about their cars and certain modifications, certain upgrades and things of that nature. I saw an old, maybe early 70s Dodge pickup when I was coming back home yesterday. It had a for sale sign on it. It needed some work, but I wonder what they was gonna ask for that vehicle. And if it started, there you go. You got a good start on that. But I wasn't gonna make any rash decision, turn around and go try to, you know, negotiate. I'm going back down that way next weekend. If it's still there, I might pull up in the yard and talk to the old gentleman. He had an old truck sitting in the grass, and he was apparently selling some type of vegetable stew. I didn't stop. I just glanced over there. He probably bought that truck new for 70s something. Dodge, I bet it still had low mileage on it. He probably just tired of looking at it. Or he probably like majority of a lot of the elderly people get, they don't want to drive no more or they can't drive anymore. I myself don't like being on the expressway because the way these people are driving today, let me tell y'all something, is wild. It's wild. I love my short commute to work. I love my short commute home. If I choose to, I can come home for lunch. Unless I absolutely had to. I can't see myself making a 45, 50 minute, hour and a half commute one way to go to nobody's job. And I know a lot of us have to do that. We don't have a choice. But for my preference, once you really factor in the time you spend in that vehicle, the wear and tear you putting on that vehicle, the amount of gas you put on that vehicle, you could have stayed at your last job that was 10 minutes around the corner from you that paid a little bit less money. Because you're spending it all back. You don't even see the money. Because they probably didn't give you enough of a bump or a pay increase to justify that. They probably didn't. So be mindful of that when you're job hunting and all this stuff. But I don't really want to keep talking about work. What do y'all want to talk about? Me, I already covered the dating thing. We talked about Jody. Nothing extravagant happened today. By extravagant, I mean nobody called to ask me any kind of weird questions. Because I tell you, people always want to know. They always want to ask me. I answer the question the best I can. I really do. I have a meet and greet Wednesday, so I'm gonna do that Wednesday evening. Unless I cancel. I've been lately. I just been canceling on people. I really haven't been in the mood, and it ain't got nothing to do with depression or introverted. I just haven't been in the mood. I really haven't, cause I will commit to something. But then once I commit to it, I start thinking about it. Is this really a good fit for me? And so I'll probably end up, I haven't declined yet. I would know for sure by tomorrow evening whether or not I want to give my time Wednesday. I don't want to say waste my time. Because they don't even know I'm doing this thing. A lot of people don't know. The very few people that I did inform, and I asked them about it, asked them if they would like to chime in on it or sent them a little bit. Nobody got back to me. And I'm kind of glad, because once again, these are some of the same people that are always asking for your help or your thought on something. But so y'all think about those people too. Who to block out. Now, for those of you that was listening to my last few posts when I was talking about sitting down and talking to your spouse and about being open-minded, and I hate saying that term open-minded, about talking to them about things, the deep, the dark side, the fetish side. How many of you managed to pull that off, or even at least open the door to conversation with your spouse? Or are we just sitting here listening and we're not gonna act on something that we all know that we really deep down wanna act on? It doesn't have to be anything super bad, super wild, super kinky. It's just about you want to switch it up. Just do it. Give it a shot. I got on here and I said I was gonna have dinner and chat. I'm full. I'm about all chatted out. I think I ran my mouth today too much at work. So with that being said, everybody, I'm gonna keep this one very short, very light. I think I've done this and almost hit 2 hours in one conversation. Just running off. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm about to put my feet up and finish listening to my little blues selections. Get on YouTube and do some more researching. And that's gonna be the extent of my evening. I was outside too much yesterday. I didn't get out there messing with that pollen. Going to the park today. Not today. I gotta give my throat and everything a break. It still bothers me a little bit. So anyway, y'all, I'm gonna clean up my mess. Everybody have a great Monday afternoon, Monday evening, or Tuesday morning, whenever you should see this post. And I do appreciate you all for tuning in. Continue to tune in. Continue to subscribe. If you're new, go ahead, push it. Hit like, whatever you have to do, you know, because I'm gonna be around for a while. I may miss a day or two, but I'm gonna be around for a while. And I truly believe that I'm reaching a few people that just happen to enjoy having somebody to talk to. And if that's all y'all want, that's all I'm gonna give. No fanfare, no fancy editing. Some of the ones that I recorded, I did like editing on it, but I'm not gonna go all deep into that editing thing because this is not gonna become my career. If it was my career, it'd be a whole different ball game. But until next time, you all take care. Thanks.